senior. From Lexington, Kentucky, Reggie Talbert. And now your IPFW Mastodons.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Matt Long along with Benny Lewis calling the action. CLBC basketball game between Northern Kentucky University and the IPFW Mastodons. Again, Benny Lewis joining us here tonight.
guard from Indianapolis, number 12,
Benny Miller. Starting out 0-2, and things don't get any easier with 9th ranked defending GLBC Northern Kentucky University with a very impressive 3-0.
Well, I'm looking very, a lot to the play of LeRon Moore here. He told me he's a great player.
GLBC basketball game between Northern Kentucky University and the IPFW Mastodons. And Benny, the IPFW club starting off a little bit slow this year, 0-2 in the early going. Northern Kentucky coming in with a very impressive 3-0 record, but maybe even more impressive than that by some standards. Northern Kentucky is ranked number 9 in the country in NCAA Division II polls. Just to put that in perspective, that's a higher ranking than Alaska Anchorage, and Alaska Anchorage should have a win over Indiana University. Some pretty stiff competition coming in here tonight.
Well, they tell me also that LeRon Moore is a player. One of the best forwards in the country, standing at 6'6", 190 out of Lexington, Kentucky. We're looking for an exciting game. Casey Runyon has to do a lot of work, going to have to do a lot of work on him and try to counter that scoring attack, but he should do okay, I think.
The game is underway now, and for Northern Kentucky. How the Dons are able to come out.
Oh, we got a quick turnover there. It's all right.
Get the first little break of the game to IPFW. One possession, one turnover.
That's right. We got Jason Worley starting off at the point guard tonight instead of Jeff Jackson. Oh, we got a bit of a break there. Ryan Glidden. We really need Ryan Glidden to put together a real good game tonight. He's been doing well in the early goings, and he's been putting up some fairly impressive numbers. He's quick, he's deceptive, good shooter as well from the outside. We need him to start firing early.
Certainly one of the keys is getting Glidden off early. Jamie P-Rat for Northern Kentucky picking up the quick foul. So a quick foul and a quick turnover for Northern Kentucky. Things not starting out the way that they would like.
There's good. I tell you what, that Kyle Kirby's been playing really well as well in the first couple of games. He's shooting over 70% from the floor and playing great, tenacious defense.
Kirby was 10 of 11 in the last game, and that time he gets back and helps defense, and he's able to keep it out of the hands of LeRon Moore, batting the ball out of bounds. The possession's going to stay with Northern Kentucky. IPFW leading within the first minute of the game, 2-0. Looks like we have a shot clock problem. Looks like the clock may have been reset a little bit too prematurely, so bear with us while we get this problem worked out. Of course, Northern Kentucky comes in 4 starters returning out of the 5 from last year's GLBC championship team. A very, very deep bench for Coach Kim Shields.
Yes, it is. He doesn't have a lot of games that he can look at and say, well, we really played badly in. I think the last time that they lost a regular season game was to IPFW, and
it was 84-75 right here in the Mastodon. I guess we'll start calling it that. That's one of those names that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
No, right here in Fort Wayne, and believe you me, this is on the minds of the Northern Kentucky Nords here this evening, and I'm sure that they remember that very loss. They did lose to Southern Indiana in the regional finals, and then Southern Indiana goes on and wins the national championship. GLBC, one of the tougher conferences. Now P-Rat inbounds. Here's the second consecutive.
Oh, good.
As P-Rat travels. I think P-Rat got the last one, and then a foul. So a shaky start for Jamie P-Rat, and Northern Kentucky going to pick up a little full court pressure.
And I tell you what, that Derek Miller's a really good ball player too. He stepped up last game and put some real good full court defense on players, and he also shot the ball well, coming off the bench. And this is actually his second start, playing really, really well. He's fitting into the system real good from Indianapolis.
Another
Got a quick turnover.
And here's Minor. Good defense that time by LeBron.
Yeah, they seem to be, you know, stepping off and helping real well at the moment and clogging up the paint a bit there, Matt. So we got to, you know, get a lot of good outside movement, and once we do that, we'll free those players up for those good outside shots. And we got an open free throw there.
He put the move on LeBron Moore. He took a little extra step. So both teams feeling each other out here early. A couple turnovers apiece. We are tied at 2. You are at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. I'm Matt DeLong along with Benny Lewis. Northern Kentucky, ranked number 9 in the country. They're visiting the Mastodons here today. 2-2 early on, 18 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the first half. Minor bringing the ball up against Derek Miller. Puts it over to P-Rad, and it looks like Northern Kentucky's going to look to do a little one-on-one. P-Rad with a shot, but it's actually he puts it up and good, and it looks like Casey Rennie's going to pick up an early foul. We'll wait confirmation on that.
You know, a lot of times that happens in basketball there, Matt, when a player drives to the basket and he gets by, and then the next thing you know, he gets his own rebound. And a lot of that comes when somebody forgot to get that defensive assignment in.
A lot of it comes from the great athletic ability of Northern Kentucky for an NCAA Division II squad. Obviously, their number 9 ranking says a lot because this is a very, very solid team. We got a 20-second timeout now. It's certainly one of the, to me, it's one of the rules that's going to benefit a team like IPFW a great deal. A very young team, they can take that quick 20, whereas they have a number of 20s. Use those in the first half as opposed to that full timeout. And also, it's a quick icing of the free throw shooter.
Yes, it is. I mean, he has now try to sit there and make those free throws. And a lot of times you want to, you know, as soon as the foul is made, you want to go right into it. It looks like he didn't have any problem with it that time, though. He can complete the three-point play.
Jamie P-Rad averages 17.3 points a game. It's also shooting 78% from the free throw line. Completes the three-point play 5-2. Northern Kentucky last year. There's Kyle Kirby, averaging 17 points a game. It's a guy Jason Whirling. Whirling is talking about Woodley. Casey Williams.
Good, and drives hard. Good drive to the basket.
He is in town and in the house, Benny.
Yes, he is. This kid has got a really quick first step, and he's, like I said, he's real deceptive, and he also has a good outside shot. And he's trying, I believe he's trying to set that up by, you know, taking him to the back, because, you know, Northern Kentucky's applying, you know, tremendous pressure on the outside.
And here Miller picks up his first basket, converts the free throw. He's got 3 points on the season. Miller averaging 14 a game. This is his second start. Now P-Rad gets the ball up quick. Almost a turnover, but Minor puts the 3, passes it over to Cluxton for 3. So getting inside for the rebound. The poor decision that time by Ryan Green. Luckily, Cluxton put a foot out there to kick it. Otherwise, it's a good block, Benny, when you're trying to get it down low, but he probably should have pulled up for that 3.
I think so. He had everything there was for the short jumper in that situation. He had a rebounder there. I don't think Coach Piazza would have been upset at all had he taken that shot at that particular time. So,
well, there
he goes, pulls up for it. He can shoot that. He can hit that all day long.
It's a 2-pointer. It is a 2 for Ryan Glidden. And Glidden puts the Mastodons back on top 7-5. 17 minutes remaining here in the first half. IPFW battling number 9 Northern Kentucky here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Cluxton going to dribble around. Nice defense there by Ryan Glidden. And Northern Kentucky just seems like they haven't found their groove yet. Here's a nice drive inside, and Jason Whirling is going to just...
What did he do with it?
He just killed P-Rat there in the corner. Sure didn't look like it's definitely a foul on.
He got him before the shot. That was
definitely a foul.
A good play for Whirling. I tell you what.
Exactly, and that really is a good call by the official. P-Rat wanted to pass the ball as Whirling had already run over him. He tried to act like the shot was going up.
But the ball was still in his hand, so a good call by the official.
Cluxton up with the jumper. It's no good. And there's Casey Runyon, 6'7" senior out of Fairmount, Indiana, and he's really picked this game up, leading IPFW with 17 points a game and that rebound. Now here's a fake three by Runyon. Gets it back to Glidden. Glidden for three. It's up and good. Ryan Glidden has 5 points, the last 5 IPFW points, and extends the lead to 5, 10-5 IPFW on top. 16:15 to go in the first half.
And then, right, I tell you what, he's feeling it today. He's pulling up that shot exactly where he wants it.
That time a nice drive by P-Rat, and he saw another fellow that we're going to do a lot of talking about here tonight, Reggie Talbert. Talbert, a 6'7" senior, also out of Lexington Bryan Station High School, the school that produced the All-America candidate LaRon Moore out there. And but Jason Worling going to have no part of the bigger 6'7", 230 Talbert going in, and commits the foul. It's going to be a 2-shot.
I tell you what, Matt, Worling is playing with a lot of intensity tonight, and he's going at everybody hard. Every 2 fouls that he made were both aggressive fouls and keeping them out of the, making them get them from the line. And like you said, Reggie Talbot, he's a catalyst to this particular team. He's a senior. He's the leader. They look to him to do a lot of stuff.
But they don't look to him to miss 2 free throws as that senior leader, which he does. So the score is still 10-5 in favor of IPFW. Andre McClendon checked in for Paul Cluxton for Northern Kentucky. And a little backdoor try there, Benny, but nobody was home. It looked like Worling and Derek were on a different page.
Well, that happens with a young ball club and a young aggressive ball club. They're going to make mistakes like that, and they're just filling each other out and getting to know each other well. I mean, a lot of them were playing secondary roles last year, and now they have to step up and do a job, and it's going well for them.
Well, the problem here is that Northern Kentucky is getting the penetration down low, and they're able to dish. And IPFW has picked up 4 early fouls, excuse me. And Andre McClendon going up for that one. That's Casey Runyon's second foul. So Runyon and Worling each with 2 fouls here in the early going, and Andre McClendon going to go to the line to shoot 2. McClendon's been to the line 4 times, make it 5 now, connecting on 3 of those, so a 60% free throw shooter. And the second is up and good. Boy, that percentage just keeps going up and up here in the early season. 10-7 now, IPFW on top.
We got good ball movement, and that's what we want. We want to handle clean. Another break.
Kyle Kirby is going to come up with it one way or another. Now it's Ryan Glidden, and Jason Worling comes out of there with it. Here comes a 3 on the way. It's no good, and here comes P-Rat.
We're off to the races.
LaRon Moore is going to get his first 2 points of the game on a nice feed from Jamie P-Rat. 10-9, very sloppy early.
I tell you what, Northern Kentucky has lifted their pressure a bit and causing IPFW to make the turnovers, but they at the same time in the transition they're not able to finish off. So they've had a couple of early turnovers IPFW, and Northern Kentucky haven't been able to capitalize on them.
Derek Miller's going to drive down to the corner and look and see where he can get that ball off to. Now there's Kyle Kirby, and it looks like Northern Kentucky's trying to push the IPFW offense out of the block.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing, trying to get them out of the and they're overplaying the leads, so therefore it keeps them from being able to get that offense started the way that they want to start. They might be able to do something now since Jeff Jackson's coming to the ball game.
Jeff Jackson, he's a 6'1" junior co-captain out of Elkhart, and Bo Ryder, much touted Bo Ryder, Michigan All-Star last year, coming in the game for IPFW. Now the inbounds to Kirby. Kirby puts it up. It's no good. He gets his own rebound back. Then nice hands underneath by LaRon Moore. And Northern Kentucky is off on the break. And there's going to be another foul. I think they got Jackson that time. Tough play, though, and that's what happens when Northern Kentucky gets in transition.
Exactly. We're starting to get back on defense, though, and that's the thing. And probably since they haven't really sort of gotten into sync yet,
Going to the line.
It's a good time for IPFW to sort of capitalize on some of the mistakes that Northern Kentucky are making. I mean, because they've had several transition opportunities and haven't been able to finish them off yet. So I think it's a little bit tough. It might be the turkey over the last couple of days.
Could be. McClendon at the line. He's 4 for 4 from the line and given actually a little spark as Northern Kentucky takes their first lead of the game at 11-10. We got 14 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Now Glidden puts up a 3. It's no good, but there's Jason Whirling. Got the rebound, loses it out of bounds, though it's still very nice aggressive play for IPFW.
Derek Miller coming back into the ball game for Jason Whirling. I tell you what, he gave us a good hard 6 minutes, Jason Whirling, and we might be able to see something happen now since Derek Miller's got a bit of a blow.
You can see IPFW certainly picking the tempo up, their game up as they get against a team such as Northern Kentucky. And there's McClendon again.
He's got strong upper body strength.
Very strong.
He was able to take the hit from Derek Miller and just go up and take that shot with the greatest of ease. And if he makes this free throw, I don't know, which maybe should put a bit of a jinx on him. He's 4 for 4 now.
Yeah,
Can he keep the day going?
You did it. Oh, no, you didn't. Anyway, McClendon has come in, and Northern Kentucky has gone up since he's come in on an 8-0 run to take a 14-10 lead, and there's going to be another turnover for IPFW as the ball touches Jeff Jackson in the backcourt, and that's going to be a turnover, and Coach Andy Piazza is going to take a timeout. 13 minutes, 40 seconds remain here in the first half. IPFW trails Northern Kentucky 14-10.
It was probably a good time to call a timeout too. He had a couple of turnovers. IPFW offense seems to be a bit unrattled by the extra pressure that Northern Kentucky is applying. They got to get more ball movement. They got to get the ball, into the wing player so they can have a good look inside to get the ball in there to the post player. The outside shooting is okay. I mean, we're getting a lot of good outside shots, but we can't rely on just that. We got to establish an inside game as well, and but we got to be able to get into our offense first.
Well, how about the play of Derek Miller, though? It seems that he is actually much more aggressive. These last two games, he kind of took a hiatus there the second half of the last game, got a little tentative on his shots, but he's come out here, and Ryan Glidden has also come out, launched up a couple of threes, and that can only be positive music for Coach Andy Piazza's ears.
Oh, yes. If he can, like I said, if he can establish an inside game, get some shots at Casey Runyon, probably run him a couple of times to the corner, let him get his game in action. At this particular point, I don't think Runyon's taking a shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andre McClendon, 6'4", 215-pound forward out of Covington, Kentucky, and since he's come in, he's got 8 quick points, and he has been the difference for Northern Kentucky as they trailed 14-6. That's an 10-6. It's a quick 8-0 run. Now Moore with the shot, but the offensive rebound by Chuck Perry. And Perry extends it to a 10-0 run, 16-10, Northern Kentucky. There's a turnover, and then Derek Miller steals it back. It's a layup. Got a goaltending, and actually not a bad goaltending play from Northern Kentucky. Add that intimidation, but
well, he caught it.
It's like Kyle Kirby's going to get the 2 anyway, 16-12.
Caught the ball on the way down there, and he was good. Good effort for him to even get back on a play like that. But Northern Kentucky's pressure is just all over. IPFW's got to do something about it.
That's LaRon Moore, the All-America candidate for Northern Kentucky, missing again. And I'll tell you, he's just in a funk in this gymnasium.
There's Ryder.
No, that's going to be Kirby underneath and get the assist to Derek Miller that time. Kirby hits a couple layups, and IPFW right back in it, trailing 16-14. We've got 12 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. I'm Matt DeLong along with Benny Lewis. IPFW basketball here on Channel 6. P-Rat drives down to the right side, and we're going to have a 3-second call underneath. Chuck Perry just into the game, and Benny, he forgot that the paint dried just a little bit when he stood in there, got caught. And another turnover going back to IPFW.
And you got Ryder. Little things about Ryder. Ryder is also a really good perimeter shooter. He can step out there and hit the shot off the block, and but he's also strong inside. Good rebounder. very aggressive player. Young kid, just a freshman.
Now Miller looks at it again, down to Ryder. And I think one of the only problems with Ryder is that he hadn't been in the system long enough to really learn the system. So it's just taking him some time.
Well, guys like that, Matt, are just out there on raw ability, hoping, just trying to find their legs and see exactly where they fit in. But where it hurts you at a lot of times is getting those cues down to see if we want, on things like where should I be?
Well, how about that play down low? Certainly Kyle Kirby is outsized and out-experienced by Reggie Talbert, but he gets the block shot, then the presence of mind to slap the ball back off of, Talbert, and another opportunity for IPFW to get back in it. There's Kirby. What a pass by Jeff Jackson, and IPFW ties the game up.
Jeff Jackson came to play today. I was talking to him earlier, and he said he was all fired up and ready to go. So he told me we expect to see a different Jeff Jackson tonight.
Shannon Miner going to drive and collect a foul. Don't know who they're going to get on this one, but that's going to put Northern Kentucky. That's going to be on Jeff Jackson, and Northern Kentucky is going to be shooting the 1-and-1. We've got 11:43 left here in the first half, and IPFW hanging tough with the 9th-ranked team in the country, 16-16. Shannon Miner going to the free throw line to shoot two, actually, not just a 1-and-1, to shoot two.
This Northern Kentucky team, they really do take the ball to the basket, and that's why you're seeing a lot of free throws being taken by them, because they are aggressive. Not a lot of outside shooting. They're pounding the ball inside and making it really, really tough for the IPFW defenders to handle them down there.
Kirby going to check the ball in now, going against some full court pressure being applied by Northern Kentucky, and IPFW breaks it pretty well. And I think both teams are starting to fill each other out, and I think the turnover's probably going to start going down on the simple plays.
Well, one would hope so, especially in the case of IPFW, but Northern Kentucky is still applying a lot of pressure.
Every time Kyle Kirby tries to catch the ball down low, he's got two guys, sometimes even three, all around him. And to this point, he's been pretty successful. But that seems to me, Benny, that's where the three-point opportunities start to open up. It's where Ryan Glidden, Derek Miller are going to start shining.
Exactly. Well, what they're trying to do is at least get some penetration to the post players in there so that he can then either reverse the ball or kick the ball back out. Here we got another turnover there, a 5-second violation. But what they got to do is they got to get the ball inside, get the ball back outside, and just inside and out. And that way we can get that open game. But you don't want to necessarily come down the court and just launch a three-pointer up straight away. So
Chuck Perry down on the baseline, and he got a mismatch. Got 6'1" Jeff Jackson guarded him. Knew what to do with that. Turnaround jumper's good. Perry's got 4. 20-16 is the lead, and Kyle Kirby is going to be called for the steps. That's going to prompt Casey Runyon to come in off the bench, and certainly a well-deserved rest. I don't think that's because of the turnover right there, Benny. I think that's one to get.
Well, he's been battling real hard all game, and he's the IPFW strong man in a lot of cases, and he has to go in there and do those types of things, and a well-deserved blow.
Nice hands that time by Bo Ryder. Gets it out to Jeff Jackson. Layup's good, and Jackson gets on the board. And it seems like all the action is in Northern Kentucky's end of the floor. And when you look at the scoreboard, it's still a 2-point game. Northern Kentucky on top, IPFW 20-18.
Well, Northern Kentucky have missed a lot of opportunities, and there goes another one. Quick turnover there. But they haven't been able to finish off a lot of the shots that they've had inside. So I don't really know if it's due to the IPFW pressure, but they're just not finishing off well, Northern Kentucky at the moment.
Well, this certainly isn't a team that's going to come in here and take this game lightly. This was their last regular season loss, as we talked about earlier, which was last year. They went on a 15-game winning streak after losing here to IPFW. I mean, they know better. Here's Derek Miller. Nice soft jumper. It's no good. Casey Runyon battled for the rebound, but Fluxton's going to come out of there with it. 20-18 still our score. We're approaching the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Northern Kentucky and IPFW. So nice drive by Listerman. A nice offensive rebound by McClendon. And McClendon is
strong.
He is blessed.
He has got some strength in there, believe it. And he really does. He is really strong. Good, strong upper body strength. Strong wrists. the whole thing. But, you know, once again, it was on a couple of misassignments by IPFW on boxing out. We have got to be, you know, have got to become a better boxing out team.
So Andre McClendon comes in averaging 9 points and 7.5 rebounds. I don't think he's got the boards yet, but he's blown away his points already in double figures here tonight. That's going to get Kyle Kirby into the game quickly for Derek Miller. And IPFW going to go with a little different look. They put their size line up now, which actually to this point in the year, I don't know if this unit's been in together. McClendon completes the three-point play. He's got a couple of those. He's asking to come out. He's going to have to hang in there for another possession as IPFW brings the ball up the court. 23-18 is our score. 9 minutes and 50 seconds remain here in the first half. KC Runyon attempts the three. It's no good.
Oh, we got another break there.
Then McClendon and P-Rat fight for the rebound, and the ball is out of bounds to IPFW. LaRon Moore, the 6'6" All-America candidate out of Lexington, Kentucky, is going to check in.
You know, I'm waiting to see LaRon do some things. You know, he obviously doesn't handle the ball a lot, but come on, throw the ball.
Almost another 5-second call. IPFW doesn't get it in. Jeff Jackson, a little crooked on the rotation that time. It's no good. Chuck Perry comes out with the rebound. And it looks like IPFW is having a little problem now getting into their set offense.
Yeah, it is. It's the same thing. We're sort of dribbling the ball from the 45-degree angle to the 45-degree angle, and as opposed from flank to flank, as opposed to moving the ball around. And, and that on the defensive end, the IPFW crew seems to be just allowing themselves to just get isolated into a one-on-one situation. What they really need to do is work, you know, get some team defense happening there.
Jason Worley going to check in now for Jeff Jackson. Jackson an errant pass that time, trying to push the ball up a little bit too fast, and the turnover gives it back to Northern Kentucky. 25-18 is our score. Northern Kentucky leading IPFW. Cluxton going to try to get it down low. He does to Talbert, and Talbert then throws the ball away.
IPFW with the good, you know, weak side defense at time. And a lot of times you get that. You get those players that their offense is so regimented that they'll just pass the ball to where somebody is supposed to be anyway. And that's what happened in that situation. IPFW coming up with the turnover.
Kyle Kirby is going to come out with the 2 points there for IPFW off Bo Ryder's miss, but nice play for IPFW just to get back. And there, I tell you what, Reggie Talbert, I was afraid he was going to bring the rim down if he'd have tried to dunk that one. Luckily for us.
The thing that was happening is that at least Kyle Kirby was there. I mean, you know, he was there for it, and that goes to show you that IPFW is putting themselves in the help position. This is something that they've obviously been working on that we didn't see in the earlier 2 games. So that at least bodies are around. We get to securing those defensive rebounds, and we'll find that, you know, we'll find it will be okay.
There's KC Runyon going to put up a 3. It's no good. And P-Rat going to come out with the rebound. Now P-Rat throws the ball away. He was looking for Perry, and luckily for IPFW, KC Runyon got down the court after the missed shot. Very fundamental play, and he comes out with a steal. Another turnover for Northern Kentucky, and really from a statistical standpoint, they're aggressive turnovers, Benny, but nonetheless, they're turnovers.
Yep. And that's both ways. I mean, they're applying a lot of defensive pressure in Northern Kentucky. And with that defensive pressure, they're trying to establish their running game. They're throwing a lot of balls away, and they're getting the ball up quick. But, you know, all credit to IPFW. They're putting a lot of pressure on, and they're right in this ball game, man.
They sure are. 27-22 is our score with 7.5 minutes to go. Northern Kentucky needs to take a 20-second timeout to talk about this one. And I don't have the exact shooting stats on Kyle Kirby to this point, but I tell you what, all year, Benny, he just rarely misses, and that's a credit to the IPFW guards getting him the ball down there to where he's not going to take a shot that he is going to miss. And then if he does miss one, a lot of times there's a foul and he finds himself at the line. So really, he's really taken over that void. And, I can't believe we haven't mentioned the name Ryan Bond to this point. Still hurt. He tried to come out, and leading IPFW rebounder and scorer last year with a twisted ankle, unable to go. And a very admirable job by Kirby coming in and filling that void.
Well, that's what happens a lot of times. when a player gets hurt, and it also gives another player the opportunity to shine or step up his game and see the things that he's able to do. And he's had 3 games now, 3 games prior to get comfortable in that role. And you know, he's a player. You know.
There's Kirby down low again, but again, that man McClendon comes out with the steal. Minor going to put the 3 up. It's good. And you don't want to let Northern Kentucky get on the roll. Now they're up 8 points all of a sudden, 30-22. Still 6 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the first half.
Well, Northern Kentucky can hurt you in so many ways. I mean, they look relaxed. You can tell this team has played a lot of basketball together, and they know their roles. They don't seem deterred about anything. They don't seem to be worried about anything. They're just going on with the daily job, and that's probably that is why they're ranked number 9 in the country.
Cluxton just picked up his. Cluxton just picked up his 2nd foul there just a moment ago. Now we're having more problems with the shot clock. I think they just needed to reset the shot clock. And we've got a substitution. Listerman's going to come back in. Waiting to get this straightened out, and we'll be back to action. Casey Runyon inbounding. And I'll tell you what, I mean, that is a very aggressive foul, but I'll tell you, he had Jason Whirling, McClendon, and so flustered coming out of there that you're looking at another turnover. So a good aggressive defense by McClendon. But then he's also going to pick up his 2nd foul, and it works out in IPFW's favor, but you can't fault the tenacity.
Well, I don't think IPFW has seen this much pressure on the outside in the 3 previous games. But I tell you what, they're responding to that pressure very positively, and they're going out there and doing some really good things. You know, this IPFW team they got big hearts. Believe it or not, they got really big hearts.
There's P-Rat doing what a point guard, or excuse me, Minor doing what a point guard should do, driving the middle, gives it off. I don't even have confirmation on who scored that. Nonetheless, 32-24, the lead stays at 8. Kyle Kirby, who just scored there a moment ago, is going to pick up a foul on, did they get LaRon Moore on that foul?
Yeah.
It is going to be on LaRon Moore. Derek Miller's going to get set to check back in the game. And we've played about 14 minutes here in the first half, and LaRon Moore picks up his first foul. Last year, he had 3 fouls the first 5 minutes, really didn't get involved in the game, and that was certainly a major factor in IPFW getting off to that quick start. But another costly fouls, IPFW as Jason Whirling, and that's going to be Whirling's 3rd foul, Benny, and definitely very aggressive.
McDonald is putting a lot of pressure on him, and I think that's what's getting, starting to bother him a bit. Excuse me, not McDonald, McClendon. He's putting a lot of pressure on him on the outside, and he's forcing him to just get out of the offense, and by doing that, it's just making him upset, and to do things like that, it's just not smart basketball, man.
So job of a good defense also. Minor at the free throw line connects. Minor's 3 for 3 from the line tonight, and he's hit every free throw on the season, so let's put him at 6 of 6 on the year. That's a nice way to start out.
And Coach Piazza took Whirling out of the game there to sort of let him calm down a little bit, because that pressure over the ball is something else. They are some of the times they're overplaying the leads all the way out to the sideline, and that's just good coaching all the way around. That's just good coaching. They're putting a lot of, for all the kids out there that's watching this at any time, this is how you apply defensive pressure the way that Northern Kentucky's putting it on IPFW at the moment.
And there's a nice play by P-Rat. Saves the ball up to Listerman. Nice play by the point guard Minor to find Listerman. And the lead is now 12, 36-24.
Another timeout.
5.5 minutes to go here in the first half, 36-24. Northern Kentucky ranked number 9 in the country on top of IPFW. And Benny, I guess, you look at things like this, it's a matter of time before the experience. Of course, Northern Kentucky does return 4 starters. from last year. But it's only a matter of time till that kind of overshadows a youthful, though very talented IPFW team. Still, that youth seems to come out, and especially on plays like that.
Exactly. Well, it goes to show you that last play showed the experience of playing together. I mean, after he saved that ball, he knew exactly where to throw it, so that, and you know, that guard-to-guard relationship or player-to-player relationship that you have between two guys. He knew exactly where to throw it, and just because he threw it there, they picked up the easy basket, and we just got outran to the ball.
Comes after playing with each other for a long time.
A lot of games. You don't get that type of thing overnight. You can tell that they put a lot of hours in together. You know, all of this Northern Kentucky, and that's why, once again, we keep rehashing it. But that's how you get national ranking.
And Northern Kentucky's played 3 games thus far. They won their last one by 40. I think that they would probably have to say that this is their most competitive game of the year too, as it is definitely IPFW's.
Well, IPFW always comes out and plays the first half really, really hard. I mean, they got some good players, but like I said, they really got to get to know what each other likes to do on the floor, and just get synchronized. And, you know, right now we're allowing the pressure, we're picking up the dribble way early, and things like that.
I'll tell you what, that's the kind of shot right there that'll break that up. You get the 3, the miss, and then there's Derek Miller for the putback. It's just getting that first shot up, and then I think IPFW's doing good. The lead is 10 for Northern Kentucky, 36-26.
Well, being IPFW, I don't think that they would be too upset with being only 10 points behind to a team of this caliber.
There's a high-caliber shot as Jamie Pirat sinks the three-pointer, 39-26, Northern Kentucky. So you look at Kirby hitting a lot of stuff down low, but he can shoot and make that three-pointer.
Well, that's the good thing that I like about it, Kirby, is that Kirby knows what his role is to play with this team.
I think the fans looking for a little traveling action as LaRon Moore lays that one in. They're not going to get it. 41-26. Now Northern Kentucky starting to show their colors, Benny.
Yeah. And LaRon Moore, even though he's not doing a lot at this stage, you can just tell he's got athleticism just, everywhere. But McClendon is a player. He's just hard-nosed. He's doing a good working job.
J.B. Showalter is going to foul LaRon Moore, and I don't know if they're going to give him a 3, if they're going to give him a 2. It looked like it was after the shot, though, actually.
Yeah, it was. But he picked up the free throws anyway, Mac. I can expect to see LaRon Moore do some things later on in this ball game. He's starting to warm up now.
He's traditionally not had the greatest games against IPFW. Last year, only 9 points. That was one of the worst outings of his season. J.B. Showalter just picked up that foul, and they did say that it was in the act of shooting. They gave LaRon Moore 3 free throws. That's where this extra one's coming, and I don't think he touched any metal on any of those. 3 more.
Well, see, he's a shooter too, Matt. The last thing you want to do is to let a shooter start getting to the line so he can start getting his stroke down. You want him to stay quiet as much as possible. If he see, there we go. We tried to force the ball there. It was 3 defenders standing in the path of that pass. If he makes that pass, okay, good. We're gambling with our passes.
Give a lot of credit to Northern Kentucky also. They're playing some tremendous defense right now.
They're getting a touch on just about everything.
What a super play by Andre McClendon. He gets the steal on the denial. The ball's going out of bounds. He calls timeout as the ball's going out of bounds. So the timeout given to Northern Kentucky, it saves a possession, and what would have actually been a turnover for Northern Kentucky. So he had possession. 44-26 is our score, and just like that, the lead goes to 18, Benny.
Well, that gives you an idea of the explosive power of Northern Kentucky. They just a couple of layups, a couple of three-point shots, free throws, things like that, and blow the lead out just like that.
Andre McClendon, since this man has come into the game, Northern Kentucky has been nothing short of spectacular. He comes in, the team is trailing 10-6. He hits 8 points in a row himself. And since that point, IPFW has just tried to creep back in, but McClendon comes in off the bench, and he's averaging 9 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, and I don't know, maybe he's working on a career night, or maybe he is the real thing, or they're just that deep, but Northern Kentucky certainly looks worthy of their number 9 national ranking.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing of it is, too, he secures rebounds for him very well on the defensive end as well, and he just applied that pressure down there. So, and he has strong upper body strength, and you know they just can't move him off of the block. Well, he's just moving him out. He's moving them off the block. He moves all the IPFW people off the blocks and forcing them to go to the outer sides.
P-Rat getting a little bit out of control that time. He recovers. They get it back to Minor to Listerman for 3, and it's good. I'll tell you what, like you said, it looks like Northern Kentucky's starting to warm up, and unfortunately for IPFW, they certainly have. 47-26. Still got 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in the first half. JB Showalter has a nice play to get that ball kicked back out. You got 18 on the shot clock. Kyle Kirby going to put his head down and get fouled. I think it's going to be on McClendon. If it is, it's his 3rd. So one good thing out of that, he's going to have to come out of the game here.
Well, he's been waving to come out of the ball game for I don't know how long there, but he just stays in there and just pounds away and pounds away and pounds away. I tell you what, those are some good quality minutes from a player like that. You know, he has that Charles Barkley build of, you know, that 6'4", 6'5" power forward inside that likes to just bang away. Really good player.
Reggie Talbot back into the game now. He's a transfer out of Dartmouth University. Played at the Division I level for a few years. Now here at Northern Kentucky. That's what IPFW wants to do, get the ball down low to Kyle Kirby, and he picks up a foul on LaRon Moore. So there's 2 on LaRon Moore. And, you know, stranger things have happened. It's 47-26. IPFW has not been a second-half team this year, but Northern Kentucky has not played a conference game yet. The GLVC, boy, I tell you, some strange things have happened. And Northern Kentucky's really done it here in about the last 6 or 7 minutes, Benny. They really turned things up when it got over the 10-minute mark here in the first half. And a couple sloppy fouls, actually, here. Maybe that's a sign of things to come.
Well, we need to knock these free throws down, and once we get those in, start applying some pressure up at the full court end of the court, and we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens.
Kirby gets the first, and he's going to go back to the line for the second. It's a 20-point margin right now. What does IPFW have to do to get back in this game, Benny?
We got to put some front court pressure on. Got to put it up, and there we go. There it is. There we put on the press. See if we can get some steals. I mean, they've been reckless with the ball as well, Northern Kentucky. They've had their share of turnovers as well. There we go.
There's another turnover. JB Showalter, the deep man for IPFW, comes up with it. Now, IPFW, I tell you what, there's no disguising the fact that they're trying to go to Kirby down low. It seems that it might be a good time for Kirby to think about kicking it back out to one of the guards. A three-pointer really goes a long way at this point.
Be nice. Here's Jackson.
Top of the key, Jeff Jackson's no good. Reggie Talbot tries to save it. Throws it off of an IPFW guy. It's no good.
There's that man again.
Kyle Kirby. Now that's goaltending if the ball doesn't go in anyway. Yeah. So Kirby was going to get the deuce. 47-30, 17-point game now, and then P-Rat comes right back. And P-Rat started off a little bit out of control, and since then he's got his game together, Benny.
He's just a good, solid guard. He can, he handles the ball well. He passes well. He puts a lot of pressure on the defensive players. Excuse me, on the offensive players, and he's just all there.
There it is again. Kyle Kirby down low.
He's giving them all in there. He's taking this thing on his shoulders, and he's doing his best to get IPFW back into this ball game.
It's nice as a coach to see a sophomore taking a game on his shoulders, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, like I was saying earlier, when you got players like Ryan Bond out with the injuries, you got to find somebody else to pick up the pace, and Kirby's doing just that.
There's a three-pointer on the way from Glidden. Up, no good. Listerman comes out with the rebound, but it's still a good shot there by Glidden. He was wide open, one of the better shooters in the conference. Struggling here in the early season to get that stroke down. Look at Minor on the nice one-handed runner. It's no good. Ball being tipped around. Jeff Jackson going to come out of there with it. Let's see what JJ, the co-captain, can do. He pulls up and hits.
He can nail that shot. He's a real good shooter from around the free throw line. If he goes down and does that, I tell you what, it all looks good for IPFW. And then slowly but surely, they're creeping back into this ball game.
A minute and 10 seconds to go here in the first half, and IPFW now trails 49-34. There's another turnover, and Listerman, I believe, is going to be called for the foul. And Northern Kentucky trying to shoot their own feet off here as we approach the half, and they're letting IPFW to get some momentum back. The lead, which was once 21 points, is now down to 15, and IPFW has the ball and an opportunity to cut it to 13.
What you want to do at this situation, Matt, is that you want to try to go into the locker room, possibly down 10 points. If we can get that, then IPFW looks good going into the second half.
Casey Runyon comes back in. He's got a couple fouls on him. He's going to replace Kyle Kirby, who's also got a few. And Ryan Glidden at the free throw line. The first is up and good. It's Glidden's first free throw of the season, so he's got a nice little percentage going for him there to this point. 49-35 and 49-36. R.J. Falcone into the game for Ryan Glidden for the last 1 minute and 6 seconds of the first half. 49-36 is our score.
I tell you what, this guy that just came into the game, R.J. Falcone, he can shoot the ball as well. He's a good perimeter shooter, hard defensive player.
There's P-Rat trying to create things. It's no good. Then, Miller has the ball knocked away. That was a nice play by Chuck Perry for Northern Kentucky. P-Rat again trying to create things, and going to have a foul, and I think they're going to get Derek Miller with that foul. No, they're going to get R.J. Falcone. 44 seconds remain here in the first half. 49-36 is our score. And I tell you what, for Northern Kentucky, that P-Rat, it's like a double-edged sword. I mean, the guy, he'll either cause some kind of a turnover or foul somebody or whatever on the drive, or he's going to get in, make something happen. And I guess with a 14-point lead, Ken Shields really doesn't mind that, but that seems like some dangerous play to me.
Well, P-Rat seems like the type of ball player that likes being in every part of the game. You know, imagine if you went out there right now, he could tell you what the score is, what the time is on the shot clock, where his man is, where everybody else's man is. And, he's just a solid player. His head is always in the game.
It's really a good shot by KC Runyon. It's no good. Talbert grabs another board. 51-36. We're winding down the last 20 seconds of the first half, and I think that Ryan Minor has said, or Shannon Minor, excuse me, has said that this is going to be the last shot time. Perry with the ball. Back to P-Rat.
He's dangerous.
He's going to shoot. Gets it down low. Perry goes up with the shot. It's no good. Then Talbert tried to get the rebound in the shot. I think Northern Kentucky might have thought they had a little foul going there. But we are at halftime. 51-36. IPFW trails 9th ranked and defending GLVC champion Northern Kentucky. 51-36 is our score. I'll tell you what, Benny, we're going to have some halftime stats here in a few minutes. But I think IPFW saw a true top 10 team here in the first half. What do they got to do in the second half?
Well, I think they've responded very, very well to the ranking and everything else of this ball club. I think they just sort of settle down a bit, and if they settle down a little bit and play better, they'll do all right.
Well, we're going to take a break now and be back with the halftime stats and a little halftime analysis when we return. You're listening to IPFW, watching IPFW basketball on College Access, Channel 6 Sports.
Moderate rock.
Ryan Kirchhoff for Team Television. We're shooting right outside the Allen County Library. I'm here with Tara Warner. And Tara, what do you think about teen smoking?
Well, I started when I was young, and I really wish I wouldn't have back then, because it causes problems later in life. So I encourage all young teenagers who are starting to smoke to quit now before it's too late.
Well, I think it's fairly easy. I've seen kids that go into the store that look like they're like 14 or 15 years old now. Seen them buy cigarettes. I think they need to crack down on the law very seriously.
Do you agree with smoking for teenagers?
Not for teenagers. I smoke, but I didn't start smoking until I was 21. So I made that decision on my own to start smoking as an adult. As a teenager, I think there should be mandatory laws for you not to smoke until you're at a certain age.
Do you think that they should start buckling down on the people who are selling them to kids that are too young to be smoking or be even buying them?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
You want to ask my daughter if she's ever smoked on television?
No, I'm not answering.
If they have maybe their teacher's permission or parents' permission, otherwise, you know, maybe they should wait.
And I didn't start chain smoking, but as I smoked more and more, the interval between cigarettes got shorter and shorter. So that by the time I was 17 or 18, I was lighting one cigarette from another.
Start because the ones older than them smoke, and it's the thing to do.
What should be done about teen smoking?
Well, I think the laws are going in the right direction. If tobacco wasn't as available for kids, for young people, maybe they wouldn't smoke it as readily as they do today.
Are you going to smoke when you're older?
Yeah.
You are?
No. I'm 4.
Where do you think they get their cigarettes, and how easy do you think it is?
How addictive is it?
How easy do you think it is for children to buy it?
Oh, extremely easy. Anybody, I think there is a law that cigarettes can be sold to children, but teenagers, but you know, people are in the business making money. They'll do anything to make money, won't they?
My name's Braxton, and as you guys can see, I'm wired. I'm going to be going into Clark to see how easy it is for teens to buy cigarettes.
I'm taking pictures of.
Can I get a pack of Reds in the box? Thanks. Well, this is the pack of Marlboros that I bought. The assistant manager sold them to me. She didn't ask for ID or anything. do you feel about smoking?
Bad.
Why do you think that it's bad?
Because you could die. You get black lungs and you could die.
Do you know anybody who smokes?
Yeah.
Who?
My mom and my dad.
And do you think that's where most people get the idea of smoking from, is their parents?
Yeah.
I think they start smoking watching their parents or watching other kids smoke.
All right, what do you think should be done about it? Kid smoking.
That's a good question.
Well, usually it's either like peer pressure because their parents do it, or just because they feel like it.
How do their parents feel about them smoking?
They feel like if they don't let them sit there and smoke in front of them, they'll just do it behind their back anyway, so go for it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you think?
I'm recording this kid on the bike. Hold on.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about kids smoking nowadays?
I don't really like it that much.
What do you think should be done about kids smoking?
Well, I think it's up to their parents if they think they should smoke or not.
I don't know. I guess it's their choice. My husband's a respiratory therapist, so it gives him more customers in the long run, but...
I imagine because they think it's cool, because of things they see. I mean, obviously they don't do it to improve their health or for any other reason, but I imagine that the way it's packaged is it makes it look sophisticated and more adult, and I would assume that's probably the majority of the reason why they do it.
Nobody should smoke at all. I have had a cigarette for 16 years.
Their mom and dad probably got them started on it in the first place. At least that's what, where all my friends do it. That's why all my friends do it.
Well, I happen to be a physician, so I know the effects of tobacco on the entire system, not only on, from where I am, we did an autopsy on 10,000 people who died of heart attacks who were under 40. Everyone who died of a heart attack under 40 was a smoker.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Again, I'm Matt DeLong along with Benny Lewis. Benny, I'll tell you what, IPFW saw what a top 10 team was, I think, in the first half. Northern Kentucky really opened it up. The score was pretty even through the 20s. Once Northern Kentucky got past that 10-minute mark of the first half, that was about it. 51-36, Northern Kentucky leads IPFW at halftime. And you look down at the stats in a very, very balanced attack by Northern Kentucky. And then you look at IPFW's stats, and you got to wonder what Kyle Kirby's been eating for lunch. We thought that, you know, he came into the game shooting 74%. Got to be one of the tops in the country, and he certainly hasn't hurt that effort to this point, has he, Bennett?
No, he hasn't. He's 8 for 8 from the floor tonight and 2 for 2 from the line. I'll tell you what, he's got some really impressive numbers, 18 points in the first half. But, I mean, the biggest difference in this game at the moment is at the free throw line. IPFW 5 for 5 from the line, and Northern Kentucky 16 of 18. I mean, that's where the ball game is, really.
That tone was set very early also, Benny, is that IPFW, just about every time that Northern Kentucky got the ball down low, and this is when it was still a very tight game, every time they got it down low, IPFW wasn't going to waste any time. Jason Whirling went in, picked up a couple quick fouls. Actually, they have, I think this is unofficial, they have Whirling for 4, and I know that can't be right. But nonetheless, IPFW trails 51-36. We're still about 50 seconds away from the start of this second half. And Benny, I think you got a guest with you over there.
Yes, we do. We got
a fellow that's plays some professional ball around here.
Yeah, we got Nikita Wilson here from the formerly from the Fort Wayne Fury. He's come here to do a few things with us in the promotions and marketing department these days. Tell me, Nikita, what do you think of the ball game tonight?
Well, I think IPFW needs to pick up their intensity if they're going to have any kind of chance to be in this game. They need to pick up their defense. They need to they need to be more patient on their offense, better their timing. If they can do those things there, they'll be back in this game. But if not, this is going to be a runaway.
Okay. Now, and tell me, since you've left the Fury now, what's in store for Nikita Wilson these days?
I don't know, maybe a little coaching. That's something I'm definitely thinking about. But as of right now, I'll continue to work at IPFW and also do some things with the Fury and their marketing and promotions department. So there's a lot of plans for Nikita Wilson elsewhere outside of basketball.
So in other words, you're not really hurting that bad that you can sit over here on the sideline with a gentleman like myself and Matt DeLong, so we get to, like, having the best seats in the house.
I'm not hurting at all. Actually, I'm really enjoying this. This is one of the few times I've had an opportunity to watch a basketball game, and so it's a new and exciting thing for me, and I'm happy to be here.
And what do you think of this? What do you think of this crowd and the things that you've been doing with the with IPFW? What are your feelings about that?
I don't know their history as far as their crowd, but I think this is a good crowd, and with the new with you and myself and Matt, I think we can make this much bigger than it is now. But we're going to keep working on it.
Okay, now back to Matt DeLong, so we can get some action going here.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was Jamie Pirat. You know, either the guy would turn the ball over, which he led Northern in turnovers the first half where he scored. He led him with 12 points. Also McClendon with 12. And look at that, opening up the second half. Derek Miller, that burst of speed, puts a layup up and in. 51-38 is our score, just starting the second half. Look at the All-American then.
He just does it with ease every time. He sort of like answers right behind and just sort of quiet that crowd down just a bit. But you know, it's all good for IPFW. You know, coming out charged up just as much this second half as they did in the first half. It really looks good. Once again, another trap dribble. He able to dribble out of it, Pirat, and then we turn the ball over.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Glidden, possibly a reprieve on a double dribble there as he broke the trap, had the ball knocked out of his hands, picked it up again, and started to go. But just that was a poor pass. Casey Runyon didn't have a chance at that. Another turnover for IPFW. IPFW had 13 turnovers to Northern Kentucky's 9 there in that first half. Here's Talbert, the lefty, up and no good. Kyle Kirby has the rebound. What a game for Kirby there in that first half, hitting everything he put up.
And Jackson decides to take it to the basket. What a good move on his part.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Jackson has got all the tools, having a little trouble putting it together in the early season. Looked really good there. 53-40 is our score. Here's a rebound, and here comes Kyle Kirby. Shot up and good.
That's 9 for 9.
9 for 9 from the field. And a career-high 20 points for Kyle Kirby. We've just started the second half, and IPFW trying to creep back into it. 53-42, 18:35 to go here in the second half. They trail Northern Kentucky, ranked number 9 in NCAA Division II. That's one of the reasons why right there, too, Benny. Big, strong interior. Reggie Talbert, big lefty, up and in, 55-42.
We should have been there a little. IPFW probably should have been there one step sooner, and they could have got maybe a charge on that. Miller getting over a little bit too late.
I'll tell you what, Talbert's so wide, though. You're not going to stop that shot, but you can only possibly hope to draw the foul.
Exactly. It was a good no call by the referees, though.
Look at Derek Miller. Look for the shot down low. Dishes it out to Ryan Glidden for the three-pointer, and that's where IPFW is going to get back in the game. Inside out, 55-45. They got it down to 10. Again, IPFW trailed by 21 there in that first half. Starting to put on some pressure now, and that time, as Minor across the half-court line, Jeff Jackson slapped him on the arm. So JJ, the captain here in his junior year, is going to pick up his second foul. 17:49 to go here in the game, but still, that's kind of aggressiveness that's going to get IPFW back into it.
I think so, and they can do it. They can get back into this ball game, but they got to be able to stop that type of thing from happening. You can't lax on a team like this because they can hurt you in so many ways. Northern Kentucky, they got shooters who are confident in the shots that they take, and you can see it whenever their big men go to the basket and everything else. It's all strong.
I'll tell you
what.
They
got good follow.
That time, again, P-Rat going to the bucket hard. He's unable to come up with it, but that was quite a transition play just to come up with. There's a three-pointer.
I tell you what. What a game.
23 points now for Kyle Kirby. He's 11 for 11 from the field, folks, and this kid is going nuts.
Yes, he is. He's having a big game.
There's another big guy down low. Kirby's going to pick up the foul. But really a good foul, as Talbert had an easy lay-in, possibly a dunk. So,
well, that's pretty good too. Kirby's only got one foul. I mean, last ball game, because he plays such an aggressive ball game, he tends to get in foul trouble. But it looks like we might have him for the whole night tonight. I can't get over this 11 from the line. From the field. Excuse me. But he's been playing like this all year long, so it's just, we needed to see if he could do it in the big ball game, and I tell you what, he's doing a really good job.
Talbert splits the pair, 59-48. IPFW's made up, or at least dug into 10 points of that lead. LaRon Moore picking up his third foul. As I pointed out earlier, last year, picked up his third foul in the first 5 minutes. Not quite the case here today. It's Northern Kentucky's first foul of the second half, and as Andre McClendon gets up to come back in the game, IPFW is going to take a 20-second timeout as Glidden couldn't get the ball in. Got a lot of stuff going on here, and after some discussion, some
heated moment. We finally
some heated discussion.
We're going to have a 20-second timeout.
Hey, I tell you what, I'd have given it to him. I don't know about you, but
he looked like he really wanted a 20-second timeout. So I think
I'll tell you what, Benny, IPFW's fought back into this game. How have they done it?
They've done it through good pressure on the ball, good shot selection, and the key thing is that when Northern Kentucky has missed the shot, they have allowed them not to get the second shot. We've come down, and we had a couple of good drives by Jackson and also by Miller that we've been able to secure this and get back into and crawl back into this thing.
KC Runyon down to Derek Miller. Miller, nice move, get the ball in, up, and good. And you know what? Miller has really been a perimeter player. Tonight he's adjusted that perimeter style and gone inside.
Well, he's also feeling it a little bit more. He's starting to get comfortable with that starting role. So And see, there you go. Once again, eliminate that second shot, and you can start doing a lot of things. Now all we need to do is get a good shot out of it this time.
I'll tell you what, Northern Kentucky, and I hate to single out one player, but he seems like if P-Rat is hot, he's number 14 for Northern Kentucky, then the rest of the team reacts to that. If he's not putting up wild shots, as you just seen, the team starts to falter. Jeff Jackson down low puts up an air ball. It was a tough shot. Good defense by Shannon Miner.
Yeah. Well.
Another turnover, and there it is again. I mean, P-Rat is the person that makes or breaks them. That time the pass was a little bit too quick for Talbert. Did get McClendon into the game, though. Let's see how IPFW reacts to McClendon. That's where the tide turned in the first half.
Yep. I'll tell you another thing. We need some shots coming from K.C. Runyon to step out there, especially on the big man, because I don't think the big man would actually follow him out there, and he's a really good three-point shooter. So if we can get a good spot up from Runyon, we should be able to crawl back into this game even closer.
Cluxton picks up his third foul for Northern Kentucky. Listerman checks in the game for Cluxton. 59-50, IPFW got the game back down into single digits. And there's another turnover. Ryan Glidden throws the ball away. He and Jeff Jackson on a different pace. Ball goes out of bounds right in front of us here. That's going to get Jason Whirling into the game. Whirling had 4 fouls there in that first half. He's going to come in for Ryan Glidden. And Jason Whirling, he's not attempted a shot tonight. Got a couple of assists, and other than that, has just been in foul trouble. But he's really got a lot more to offer than that. He's the kind of player that in the next 3 minutes he can launch 4 or 5 three-pointers and get IPFW right back into it. So maybe not that bad of a move.
Our pressure has picked up, and it's looking a lot better. And
P-Rat puts the three-pointer up. It's no good. I'll tell you what, that was some good boxing out that time.
Yes, it was. They're starting to rebound and box out and rebound better and play better as a team.
I'll tell you what, the fans wanted a goaltending. Talbert got up, blocked that shot.
He got way up, too. He got way up.
It may have a case for the goaltending, but when it's close like that, you got to keep on playing. And here's Northern Kentucky in the backcourt leading 59-50. Talbert's going to put this one down with some authority. 61-50. We still have 14:54 to go, and luckily dunks don't win the game, so we got plenty more to go.
Got plenty more games to go. And here's that player.
There's the first missed shot by
I think
Kyle
it was
Kirby.
blocked. That got blocked. So
got blocked out of there, but Derek Miller was there to clean it up. 61-52. Northern Kentucky. Oh, that's looking like a travel by P-Rat. I'll tell you, that guy is. He is either the negative impact or the positive impact. It's hot or cold.
I tell you what, Miller's stepping up his defense. He just missed that steal prior to the dunk there, so he's swarming all over the place. He's all over the place now, and that's good for IPFW. And they're close. I tell you, there's only 9 points in it.
You know what, though? IPFW's got the intensity that they've lacked in the second half of the last 2 games, which is extremely positive. That's just a nice dish and drive and dish right there.
Yep.
McClendon on the receiving end, but give Shannon Miner all the credit on that one. Kyle Kirby got the ball down low again. Kirby, he wants it. He wants it. It's something that has not been his trademark in the past. He wants the ball down low, and when they get it down to him, he's going to make something happen. McClendon, now he picks up his 3rd foul, and though I wouldn't call that serious foul trouble at this point in the game, we're going to have another foul. This was going to go against
Kirby
IPFW,
this time.
though.
Well, that's good for me. I mean, the IPFW has always been lacking a little bit, especially this particular year with Bond being out, of having another man to go to inside. And with Kirby stepping up his game like this, it'll give him a 2-prong attack inside now once Bond comes back.
Slavic ball handling in the backcourt. Northern almost turned it over there again. Now they do. Nice help by Jason Whirling, knocking that ball out of bounds. I didn't know where Listerman was going with it anyway. He was throwing it to either Kirby or
well, when you
Whirling.
jump up in the air like that, there's not much you can. You're sort of hoping that somebody can read what you're doing.
Seems like IPFW is starting to get a beat on what Northern really wants to do, and when you got the athletes like that, Andre McClendon.
He's just solid. I mean, he's big, he's strong. He's a good 235, 240, and just a big wide body, and he takes up a lot of space. Uses his body real well. And, almost plays to the bump. Hopes that he gets a bit of contact so that he can shoot free throws.
And when you have this is certainly not a knock on Jason Whirling, but he's 6'1", 170, maybe 175 guard. And in a 3-guard rotation, which IPFW has in there now, he's going to get matched up with the post players sometimes.
And a lot of times that is from the help. That's from the help defense when you have to rotate around to a player like that, and he's just outsizing him. He's just outsizing him every time.
Like you said, McClendon, he stands about 6'3", not a big height advantage, but when you go about they got him listed at 215. You got to say he's 235. Just by looking, the guy's he's just thick.
Oh yeah.
There's an offensive rebound by Talbert. Boy, I tell you, he's all over the boards, but not able to connect. There's Derek Miller for another rebound. Miller's got down there low a couple times real nice tonight. Derek had the shot, passed it up. Kyle Kirby looking for RJ when I think one zigged when he thought he was going to zag.
And all that is once again getting to know your players. You're trying to learn the offense, and you're trying to learn what your players like to do and things like that. And it's going to take time for them to gel.
Talbert from the baseline, no good, but there's Listerman with the rebound. That's no good. Kirby comes out of there with it.
Oh,
here goes Kirby for the layup. Give that one to Jeff Jackson.
What a play.
Kirby has 25 points.
And he's doing it, and the beautiful thing of it is he's doing it in the flow of the game. He's not forcing anything up. He's not taking any bad shots. He's just playing with a lot of heart.
Well, there's P-Rag going up, and he got his arm grabbed there by Falcone. They're going to give RJ the grab, and they're going to call the foul on KC Runyon. Chuck Perry is going to come in now for Reggie Talbert, but Jamie P-Rad's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Couple subs now for IPFW. Cole Ryder, 6'8", 235 freshman. And Ryan Glidden. Glidden also a D1 transfer, playing here for IPFW. Came out of St. Bonaventure, and ironically, his career high was against Notre Dame.
Is that right?
When he was at St. Bonaventure. P-Rag connects 65-54. Lead back up to 11 for Northern Kentucky. Ranked number 9 in the country. They're defending Great Lakes Valley Conference champions. And it's not too bad when you're competing in a league that's considered the toughest NCAA Division II league in the country. Now we got a foul away from the ball, and I think they're going to get McClendon trying to hold Kyle Kirby in the block. That's going to be his 4th foul. And I said that third one a few minutes ago wasn't that big. Now this one becomes quite big because McClendon's the man down low.
No, McClendon's never fouled.
Look at that, McClendon falling asleep.
While he's still talking, he's never held anyone in his life. That's the way he sees. That's the way he sees it, anyway.
Well, he got a little upset and got down the court, but I tell you what, McClendon just plain fell asleep. His man, Kirby, burned him on that last one. Luckily for him, he got down to the court and got the 2. IPFW with the ball now. RJ Falcone. Like he had Jeff Jackson going back door. Now there's Kyle.
I tell you what,
down low,
the kid from Marion, Indiana is doing it all tonight. I tell you what, he's doing it all.
Again, I'm unofficial, and sometimes we don't write everything down, but we got Kyle with a career-high 29 points here this evening. 11:35 to go, and there's not a whole lot you can do when the guy that's guarding you, though, is going down and doing the same thing at the other end. Andre McClendon.
Well, I tell you what, Kirby on that last play, he gave him good head fake, went right to the glass. He's using everything that he's got tonight, and I'll tell you what, his shooting is way up. I think he'd have to miss every shot for the next next 3 ball games and all that to get him down to 50%.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, I've not seen many players. I mean, he's not shooting the ball 4 or 5 times a game here. The guy is leading IPFW. He's averaging, I think it's 15 points a game coming in here tonight.
But I still, in order for IPFW to do it, we got to get it. We got to get a secondary scoring, from our bench and also from Casey Runyon. Casey Runyon's been a bit quiet tonight.
Casey came into the season. He was also shooting around 70%. Now we have, you can see on the replay there, they're checking out that last foul. It's like we have a problem with the official book now. They're trying to figure out some fouls or whatever. But let's get back to Casey Runyon.
Mm-hmm.
He has come out. He's played very well. He led IPFW average at 17 points a game. He's been very quiet tonight. He's a senior. He's been around. He's won a Great Lakes Valley Conference championship. I'll tell you what, that's still the guy that I want in the game to take that big shot. Last year he had a couple big shots. He's going to take a breather down. But, it's 11:24 to go. 69-58 is our score. I mean, an 11-point lead at this level. That's not too much to make up. And Northern Kentucky's starting to get some foul trouble, Benny.
That's right. I mean, getting back to Runyon, he can knock that 3-pointer down, and I think a couple of 3-pointers wouldn't go astray right now. He probably does need to be in the ball game now, but Coach Piazza has got a good aggressive group out on the floor. I think he wants to try to negate that battle that they're having on the board. So what they're going to do is stay with these bangers in here and see what they can come up with. They got a banging, scrappy team in here to sort of combat people like Pirat and also McClendon. So it looks like Pirat's out of the game at the moment. So.
Well, the reason for that last time out was that there was a 3-point shot that was missed. The score is actually 71-58. And it was simply missed. Now here's R.J. Falcone. You talked about his shooting ability. That one's off. But a fight for the rebound, almost lost out of bounds, but Moore comes out of there with it.
He kind of rushed that one a little bit. But believe me, he can put it in.
Tell you what, IPFW better not lose Listerman over there. They found him. There's LaRon Moore. The baseline jumper. It's no good. IPFW just outsized that time, but Ryan Glenn did a nice job backing up on Chuck Perry, forcing him to travel and the turnover.
But, that was a good boxing. IPFW is going to a zone now. I don't know how long they've actually been in it, but they've gone to a zone now, and it seems to sort of put, to clog up that paint a little bit to see if they can keep some of those offensive rebounders from coming in there to negate a person like McClendon.
But I'll tell you, IPFW's zone also negates a player like LaRon Moore, who is simply very uncharacteristic here tonight. He's number 40 out there for Northern Kentucky. That time Jackson trying to get it down low to Kirby, and
still loose.
I'll tell you, Kirby almost recovered and got
He's all over the place tonight. He's all over the place.
Kirby's drawing, though. He's drawing a triple team now.
Yes, he is.
I mean, somebody's open. Derek Miller back in the game. IPFW tried to get a timeout, but they'd already put the ball in play, and there's a turnover. Kyle Kirby out with the steal. Listerman throwing that away. Jeff Jackson going to take it all the way, puts it up, no good. LaRon Moore out with the rebound, gets it back to Minor. Oh my goodness gracious, Minor knew what was coming next.
Yes, he
Moore
did.
kept following. Big time slam for LaRon Moore, 73-58 our score.
You can see it coming.
We're right at the 10-minute mark, and we have a timeout for IPFW. 73-58, 10 minutes remain.
You could see it coming. That's exactly what we wanted. What Northern Kentucky wanted at that particular point in time. A quick, fast turnover, and then boom. Followed by a slam. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Well, we're new at this stuff, but we'll get it, Benny. Here we go. Tune in Thursday evening, December 21 at 7:30 to watch the women's teams from Northern Kentucky and IPFW play right here live on Channel 6. All right. now that we got that out of the way, it's going to be a good game. I'll tell you what, and it's a shame that we haven't been able to talk about our women's program. But for right now, we are going to try to talk about the women's program here in a little while.
When you talk about the women's program, how can you go without speaking about Lindy Jones?
Well, I'll tell you what. She has come out and averaged right around 32 points a game thus far this season. That's in 2 games. And IPFW, they put some points on the board, averaging 102 points a game to this point.
That's a lot of points.
We just got a stat update here, Benny, and I'll tell you what, it was a block shot earlier, so they didn't give Kirby the attempt on that.
That's what I said.
Now, see, a lot of times I think, somebody tries to shoot the ball, they get it swatted, they deserve a missed shot on that. But so evidently it didn't count. 13 for 13 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. It's 2 for 2 from the line, a career high 29 points.
The kind of games that you dream about, Matt. I mean, especially if you're not considered to be the primary scorer. For him to step up like that and to give his team 29 points.
There's Derek Miller in the corner. It's no good. There's Kirby with the rebound. Puts a shot up. No, it's no good. Don't count the shot. It's not an attempt. He got fouled.
That's right.
Now, 13 for 13, Benny. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if that sticks, that's definitely a single-game record here at IPFW. What do you think?
Well, you're the stat man, Matt. That would be.
Well, if he doesn't shoot again, he's got it. The percent is 100%. It was 10 for 10 set by Greg Davis. IPFW now inbounds the ball. There's Bo Ryder. That's a nice place for Bo to have it. Nice turn.
Good, strong kid. He can do that all day long.
Now, what that did is on the next possession opens things up a little bit for Kirby now on the other side. 73-60. It's a 13-point spread. 9 minutes and 28 seconds to go here in the second half. And there's LaRon Moore with another dunk. I'll tell you what.
You would wonder.
Duncan doesn't make an All-American, but getting open does, and he knows how to do it.
Well, I think we sort of fell asleep a bit on defense there, IPFW, because he was camping down there. He had almost built a fire.
Kirby misses his first shot of the game. It was a 3-point attempt. P-Rat's going to come back in now for Shannon Miner, but there was Derek. Derek Miller hustling, throws the ball off of LaRon Moore. IPFW is going to regain possession. Bo Ryder turned, look, up, no good. P-Rat tried. Luckily for him, Derek Miller was standing there. That ball would have gone out of bounds on the rebound. There's LaRon Moore, another jumper. It's no good. Fight for the rebound. Now they're going to get Jeff Jackson for that foul. It really looked like Buxton was coming in from the backside, but the officials had the viewpoint evidently. 75-60, Northern Kentucky on top of IPFW. And you saw the rebound, and you can make up your own mind on which fella.
I'll tell you what, Northern Kentucky, they just sort of keeps at it, does the things, and there he goes again.
Well, they're so powerful, Benny.
They are.
I mean, you got
they
guys
can hurt
like,
you from so many ways.
You got guys like Perry
no
right there coming in off the bench, and McClendon coming in off the bench, and the aggressiveness of that P-Rat, and I'll tell you what, good things are going to happen.
Well, that P-Rat, I don't know, he's probably playing at this particular stage. He's played 27 minutes already. And that's a lot of ball game for a player like him. And he's, to be harassing and running and, filling the first lane on the break and, coming up for the steals and getting back on defense when the point guard penetrates. He's all over the place, man.
Perry goes out of the game. Talbert in. Going to get Kyle Kirby back at the free throw line, and he just keeps on going, Benny.
I tell you what, he's determined to have a perfect night.
30 points. He's 13 of 14 from the field at this point. But he's 4 for 4 from the line. He just keeps building that career high. 31 points now. Glidden almost comes up with that one. Let's get back and recover at this point. There's that turnover again. 77 to 62, excuse me. Still 8 minutes and 21 seconds to go, Benny, and anything can happen.
Anything can happen. IPFW needs to get within 10 points like before the 5-minute mark, and it'll be a ball game all over again. We're going to be looking for some exciting endings to the end of this game, because I tell you what, they by no means, Northern Kentucky has shaken this ball club.
Derek Miller, nice move to drive inside. Gets the deuce. Miller has 13 points. IPFW just hanging around. It's a 13-point deficit. Still plenty of time for the Mastodons to bring this one back home. 77 to 64. 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this one. Nice defense that time. Here's Miller coming out with the steal. Miller going to take it all the way. Layup's up and good. The lead down to 11, 77 to 66. And give that one to Derek Miller all the way. Also an assist on the defense to Jeff Jackson, forcing Minor into a passing situation.
Putting good pressure on. It's good. They're applying good pressure, and they're talking on defense. You can see that.
When in doubt,
go to your All-American.
Go to the man, LaRon Moore, 79-66. There's a very fortunate play for IPFW, but in a transition, that's what happens a lot of times. Ryan Glidden going to come out of there with the deuce. Glidden's got 14 points, and really a quiet 14 points for Ryan Glidden here tonight. 79-68, IPFW trails by 11.
I'll tell you what, IPFW has increased their pressure and got an offensive foul there. That's what happens.
Paul Cluxton picks up the foul. He's got 4. It's another one of the starters now with 4 fouls. 79 to 68. Northern Kentucky doing everything that they can right now to give IPFW the confidence that a young team needs. And I tell you what, you give it to them. And you look at that lineup right now. Yeah, every one of those kids will be back. There's Bo Ryder. Big freshman out of Bay City, Michigan, gets it back out to Ryan Glidden, a D1 transfer.
Got him.
Glidden drives inside. P-Rat fouls. He doesn't like it, but it's still going to be a foul. Glidden's going to go to the line shooting too. Nice play by Glidden to take it right at P-Rat.
Exactly. And, that's what IPFW has to do. They have to attack the basket, be positive going to the basket if they want to get back into this ball game.
So let's mark the time down. 6:22 to go in the game. Andre McClendon, who's been the spark for Northern Kentucky tonight, checks back into the game. Comes back in with 21 points, 3 rebounds. Here's the missed free throw by Glidden. Moore comes down with it. (79-68) our score. 9th-ranked Northern Kentucky against IPFW. And when in doubt, like we said, go to your All-American. LaRon Moore has proven to be the man stepping up here in crunch time. Three-pointer from Glidden is up and no good. Moore comes down with the rebound. Layup missed by McClendon. That's about
one of the rare things. One of the rare misses on his part anyway, because he's been very, very consistent for him inside this ball game.
Then Talbert couldn't come down with it, and the ball goes out of bounds to IPFW. Northern Kentucky takes a timeout. 81-68 our score. 9th-ranked Northern Kentucky. That's ranked in the NCAA Division II. On top of IPFW, 81-68. But we'll get back to this here in a minute. But it's been definitely IPFW's best showing as far as 34 or 30-some minutes of play, whatever we're at right now. It's been their best showing. The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to
Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805.
Or you can call us at 481-6000. Hope you got all of that.
So if I send this information in, will I get to speak to the great Matt DeLone?
No, you absolutely will not. This is going to Channel 6, but if you want to talk to the great Matt DeLong, yeah, we'll save that number for a different telecast, Benny. Northern Kentucky back on the back on the floor. All right, it's going to be IPFW's ball underneath the Northern Kentucky bucket. By the way, Northern's coming out. I don't think they're going to be pressing. 5:45, 81-68, Benny. If you're in Coach Andy Piazza's huddle, what'd you just tell the team?
I tell them to settle down a little bit, Matt, and just play and do the things that keeps getting them in the ball game and keeps them in the ball game. Because, I mean, by no means is this game over, but we got to do the thing. You know, IPFW has to do the things like make the first of those 1-and-1s when we do get the foul shot opportunities.
You get a few fouls out there, and I think you get J.B. Showalter in the game now, and I would say that's probably just the kind of player you want in there to get a few fouls. Talbert's going to be guilty of the foul now on Showalter. And Showalter's going to go to the line. IPFW now, as Northern Kentucky gets their 10th foul, going to be shooting 2 the rest of the way, Benny.
All credit to Showalter, but he probably shouldn't have had the ball in that situation anyway. They wanted him to step out and just turn the ball over in the offense to the, from the strong side to the weak side. And he got a bit caught out there due to the tremendous pressure of Northern Kentucky.
Showalter at the line for his first free throw of the season. It's up and no good. Still 5 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in the contest. IPFW trails as Showalter splits them 81-69, down by 12. And this has really been the area that the game's kind of stayed in about the last probably 10 minutes, Benny. IPFW really hadn't made much of a dent.
No, well, it's a good striking point, though. We can't afford to, IPFW can't afford to just trade baskets. They have got to create some steals and some turnovers the same way. But when you're fighting uphill all game, and your All-American is making moves like that for Northern Kentucky, but we're attacking right back.
I'll tell you, ill-advised pass from Glidden. He saw Miller. Miller called for it. You don't want Glidden to make that pass, but Benny, it's awful tempting when the guy sticks his hand out and says, "I'm open, give it to me."
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. And when you're a guard in that situation, you got to throw the ball because it's an aggressive mistake. And it's creating teamwork. It's helping them. And you want to keep a player like Miller running on the break. If he thinks that he's not going to get the ball when he runs, just stop running. And I think that's what he forced a turnover, but just the same, you got to throw the ball.
Well, IPFW is going to start fouling. Shannon Miner is not the person to foul here tonight. It's a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line on the season. There's a perfect 10 of 10 from the free throw line. So
he hasn't missed much from the field either.
Definitely the floor general for the Northern Kentucky Norse. 83-69. Northern Kentucky ranked number 9 in the nation with the lead. There's an little circus shot by Derek Miller. It's up no good. P-Rat comes out with it. And as Miller did not give up on going for the rebound, he forces P-Rat into a traveling situation. So the turnover is going to give the ball back to IPFW. Derek Miller going to check the ball in. Look at J.B. Showalter not showing any shyness on the inbound.
Well,
puts it up and in.
It's about that time, though. It's about that time for Kyle Kirby. It's Kyle Kirby time. Take us home.
McClendon, again, another uncharacteristic move. He hasn't done that all game. Gets the ball, had a perfect opportunity for a layup, and he couldn't find the handle. It's another turnover, 83-81. Northern Kentucky on top. We got 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go in this contest.
A good shot. A good shot right now. Good three. Good execution on the play right here now. We'll change this ball game around.
P-Rat almost came up with it. Then Glidden's shot is up and no good.
Got to get a good shot.
I think they're saying that one went off Derek Miller's knee. It's an air ball put up. Can't really fault the offensive boards on something like that. No. The guys did a good job just to be able to knock it out of bounds, but the ball does go back over to Northern Kentucky.
We need one good defense now. Back line can't go to sleep.
I think Minor's just going to dare him to foul. 17 seconds on the shot clock. 3:36 on the game clock. No, it used to be a 5-second rule. They don't have that. Now Minor drives all the way for the bucket and the foul. And I tell you what,
this team is just so poised. They're cool under pressure. They have no problems at all. They just have, we forced a lot of turnovers, but they don't even when we force the turnovers, they don't seem to be worried about it. They just really cool under pressure.
Shannon Minor, he's a prototype point guard. I mean, at this level, he gets in there, he's going to make his free throws, he's going to direct the floor, and really, quite honestly, the sloppy turnovers have not come from Minor at all. He's distributing the ball well and completes the three-point play that time. It's 86-71, Northern Kentucky on top, and time running out for IPFW to get back in this one. Ryan Glidden with the ball. Hey, they're trying to post up smaller guys down low, and Northern is just too big. Well, get the ball in there.
Floor spacing. We had three IPFW players in the same quarter of the court. I mean, it's just it makes it difficult to do anything, and it also brings 3 defensive players into that area, and we try to force the pass.
Northern's going to be pretty content now to use every second on the 35-second shot clock. There goes Minor inside again, but IPFW does recover. 5 on the shot clock. Down low to Talbert, and nice job by J.B. Showalter blocking that shot.
But they get the ball back. There's no reset on the clock, though.
There's 1 second on the shot clock, and that's going to be how much time is left. It's a nice job by the officials and their composure here.
We also got to make sure that we get the rebound on the missed shot. They're probably going to throw up a prayer here, hoping that something can come out of it. But it's going to be a quick shot from Northern Kentucky, so we got to make sure we get this rebound.
Some kind of alley-oop try, actually. Shot is up, and it does not go, but the tip is there by LaRon Moore. It's a good job by McClendon just to get the shot off. Then LaRon Moore is there to clean it up. 88-71, Northern Kentucky on top. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in the contest. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It's a jumper by Miller. Now here's Pierrat.
He's everywhere.
With the layup, but it all started with Reggie Talbert on a big block shot.
Yep. I tell you what, they're just solid, and they're coming hard. They're coming hard at it all game.
There's a drive and the hoop by Jeff Jackson, unassisted. Minute 41 to go in the game, 90-73. The strength of Northern Kentucky really coming out in the last 5 minutes.
It really is. I mean, and they don't have any weaknesses anywhere. At least not at this stage. They've played a good, solid ball game. Pierrat, the guards, McClendon, good bench strength. All of the things that you actually need for a solid game. And they're starting to toy a bit.
Trying to get a little fancy. It didn't work, but there was LaRon Moore again. There's a 3-point shot put up by Glidden. It's no good. Moore comes down with the rebound. 20-second timeout going to be taken by Northern Kentucky. That's going to give them time to get a number of substitutions into the game now.
I think Coach Biaz is going to have a look at some of the other players, giving them some time to see if they can sort of get back into this ball game.
Aaron Ishman, Dane Adams, Rico Martin, R.J. Falcone comes in, the only player staying in the game.
Rico Martin's a Harding High School standout from Fort Wayne here. I think the story with him is he came here to play baseball and just decided to come out for basketball here and ended up making the team and has put some quality minutes in the early goings.
Andre McClendon trying to go inside it like he's done all night, and maybe the answer was Aaron Ishman. He knocked that one out of bounds. Wild three-pointer put up. Adams comes out with it. Dane Adams tries to, it was a 1-on-2, and the one happened to come out with it. Nice defensive play by Listerman.
Well, he should have got rid of that ball a lot sooner than that. I think that's from being in an area that he's not used to being in.
Shot put up and in.
Minor again.
I tell you what, he is a solid point guard.
He is.
And
folks, he's very slight. He looks like a 12-year-old kid just out there having fun.
It's not like Northern's trying to rub it in, keeping their starting point guard in the game. He is their point guard. He's the man. He's got the reins. He stays in the game.
Well, it looks like they don't even have a substitution for him. It's just, exactly. He has to be there, and they just follow him like. You don't throw. I guess you don't throw your captain off the ship, do you?
No, I don't think you want to do that. And Veith in the game now for Northern Kentucky. He's a big 6'11" fella, so you get a good look at what a 7-footer might look like. LaRon Moore comes out with the steal. There's Minor again.
He's something else.
Side-winding three-point shot put up, 98-73 is going to be our final. IPFW going down to defeat a game effort, but it was 9th-ranked Northern Kentucky coming out with the victory here tonight. IPFW opens up the season, Benny, with an 0-3 record. They lose tonight, 98-73, but the score is certainly not indicative of the way this game was played.
All.
This is by far IPFW's most solid performance all season.
Exactly, and it goes to show you that they can play with the other teams in the GLVC. So we unfortunately tonight they play one of their best games against one of the powerhouses.
A bounce here and a bounce there, and IPFW with about 6 minutes to go might be back in the game.
Exactly. Well, a key thing was that missed free throw by Glidden right there when they were making that comeback. He misses the free throw, the first of a 1-and-1. That was a big play for us to sort of not get anything out of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, IPFW certainly saw a fine performance this evening, Benny, out of Kyle Kirby, excuse me.
Kyle Kirby.
Unofficially, we got him finishing with a career-high 31 points, and he was only missed one shot from the field. This is your 6'6" post guy. He's down there taking on the trees, and his only miss was from three-point territory. What a game for Kyle.
I think. Well, it is indicative of how he's been playing all year long, and it was just a matter of time for him to break the glass ceiling, or so to speak, to get over that 30 mark, and also his career high. So he was doing it all, and a lot of it was just being in the right place at the right time, just taking, in the flow of the offense. I'm sure if Coach Piazza could get the rest of the ball team to doing those, playing in the flow of the game, a lot more victories.
Things are going to happen. 0-3 start for IPFW, but definite progress made here tonight. Unfortunately, the progress had to be slowed down a little bit by the 9th-ranked team in the country, but IPFW not going to see a team of this caliber for quite some time. Time to start building. The final from the Hilliard Gates Sports Center, 98-73, 9th-ranked Northern Kentucky getting by upset-minded IPFW. Northern improves to 4-0. IPFW drops to 0-3 here in the early season. I want to thank you for joining us. For my broadcast partner, Benny Lewis, my name's Matt DeLong. Thanks for watching Channel 6 Sports and IPFW Basketball.